What's going on, guys? I appreciate you checking in. I want to come on here and kind of touch on the Kolton Miller JPJ injury situation. I've got a couple comments on my videos, just kind of asking, what are my thoughts on the whole situation. And so I want to come on here and kind of share with you. I have the depth chart up just in case I want to reference it. But uh, before we get into it, if you can, please like this video, subscribe, turn those notifications. Next giveaway is at 4,000 subscribers. So if you want to be including that, hit that subscribe button. It's just my way of saying thank you and show my appreciation to all my viewers and all my subscribers as well. So obviously we know we got JPJ he's got a lingering injury going on, Kolton Miller as well. And I want to touch on Kolton Miller first. I think what our Antonio Pierce, James Craig, our offensive line coach, I think what they're doing is they're just kind of being careful with it. And I understand that. Kolton Miller, he is that anchor. Now, I think that it's important that he does get on the field as soon as possible, but I'm okay. I'm okay if it takes, maybe a few more days to kind of get him onto the field. We got to make sure that he's good. We got to make sure that he is 100% going into this season because he is that anchor. He's that anchor on the offensive line. So I want to give it at least, even if he doesn't suit up for the first preseason game, that's okay. I'm okay with that because we got to see, we have a lot of young offensive linemen as well that we need to evaluate. We need to see. So I'm okay if he doesn't even suit up for that first game. Now, if he doesn't suit up or he is not full go by that second preseason game, this is where my concern is really going to start to play. It's going to come in because not only do we need him out there, but Jackson Powers Johnson, if he all of a sudden suits up and he's out there, Jackson Powers Johnson and Kolton Miller, they need to develop a chemistry. This is where I think it hurts Jackson Powers Johnson. They have to develop that chemistry playing side by side. They got to know how to communicate. And Jackson Powers Johnson needs that veteran presence. He needs that veteran next to him to kind of show him the ropes, to kind of allow the transition as a rookie to be just that much easier. And so as much as I want Antonio Pierce, the coaching staff to be careful and make sure that Kolton Miller kind of eases his way in and be 100% sure he's ready to go, I also want to make sure that he's there so that Kolton Miller can help Jackson Powers Johnson along the way. And so that's kind of my take. I'm going to give it till the second preseason game. If I don't see Kolton Miller suited up or ready to go 100% by the second preseason game, that's where panic will start to set in. And now let's talk about Jackson Powers Johnson. I think this is a little more concerning because as a rookie, you need every rep possible to get prepared for that first game. You need that, not only the mental rep, but you need to understand kind of what the NFL is about. You need to see full speed padded reps against some of these NFL caliber defensive linemen to see kind of how you work with it. I mean, the NFL is a totally different level. This is why a lot of first rounders don't work out, because once they get to the NFL level, it's different. And so Jackson Powers Johnson needs to be on that field. He needs to get every rep he can to kind of get used to this NFL level. And what I've said this in multiple videos is my concern between Kolton Miller and Jackson Powers Johnson. My biggest concern is Jackson Powers Johnson, because you're part of the interior of the offensive line. You know, the interior is the closest distance to the quarterback. I mean, any one of these centers or guards break down, that's the closest angle to the quarterback. I mean, that interior defensive lineman or that blitzing linebacker coming up the middle can get to that quarterback so quick. And we need that interior to be extremely strong. We need these anchors to be there so that we can protect this quarterback. And look, we didn't put a lot of investment into our quarterback position. You know, we're not expecting a whole lot. We're not expecting, our quarterbacks to all of a sudden turn into, the next Peyton Manning or the next Tom Brady. We don't expect them to go out there and just sling the rock left and right. This is going to be a very balanced offense. And so we need this offensive line to protect the quarterbacks, give them the time to scan the field, process the defense. And what concerns me is just we just experienced the injury history with Tyree Wilson. He came in and he didn't produce. He didn't produce like a 7th overall pick should have. Why? Because of injury history. And now are we starting to feel the same thing? Are we starting to feel we might experience that same situation that Tyree Wilson had last year. That Jackson Powers Johnson is coming into the league with some injury history, some lingering injuries that might affect how this offensive unit plays as a whole. Because again, I've said this before, you're only as good as your weakest link on this offensive line. That's the issue that I have. All it takes is for one offensive lineman to miss their block, and now that's the difference between getting ahead of the sticks or now finding yourselves in second and 15 or third and 9. And so I'm concerned. I am concerned about Jackson Powers Johnson until he hits that field, until this injury is no longer talked about. I have my concerns because if we rush him onto the field and all of a sudden he re-aggravates that injury, now we're going to find ourselves kind of in that offensive line carousel as who's going to play next, who's going to slot in, and we don't have a lot of. We could use Andres Pete and move him down to a guard. He's played guard before. I believe his Pro Bowl year was as a guard, so we could slot him in, which I would be okay with. But that's not, in my opinion, that is not what we drafted Jackson Powers Johnson for. We need him to be healthy. We need him to get him on the field because I think he has the potential to be a very good interior guard in the NFL. So I don't want what we saw with Tyree Wilson last year with this lingering injury. I don't want to see that happen. So, guys, this is just kind of my take. I'm going to give Kolton Miller some time, but my concern will really start to set in if he's not suited up 100% for week 2. But every day Jackson Powers Johnson misses is a day that he's not getting acclimated to the NFL level, which delays the progression of his development. And that's where my concern comes up. So that's just kind of my take. Let me know, guys, in the comment section down below how you feel on this whole situation. So again, like this video, subscribe, turn those notifications. I appreciate you sticking with me. Next giveaway, 4,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button if you want to be included. I appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.